Hi guys, welcome back to Coaster Buddy, and I'm here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach for a very sunny day. It's actually quite toasty again. I can't believe it's been about 3 weeks since I was last at the park for the Nickelodeon Land event, and it is the first day of the 2026 season. Their 130th year of operation is Saturday the 7th of March. Let's have a look around the park. I believe that there are some rides closed. I believe that Grand National won't be opening today, and that Valhalla won't be opening today yet. It says on the sign Valhalla's not opening. Neither is Dora's World Voyage, so that seems like it's still under its winter maintenance. During March, it's weekends only until the last week of March, which I believe is the 30th and the 31st, when it starts going into full week operation. Derby racer going around. I believe that we'll be seeing some staggered openings here, but it looks like Alice in Wonderland is testing. I might go have a look and see what Icon is looking like. It's a shame that that's not opening today, but it's okay. We'll go look at Icon and see what time that opens, because it seems like it's a pretty good turnout today. There was a lot of people over at security, so it might be worth either getting on a low throughput ride like Avalanche or maybe Ghost Train, or just heading straight over to Icon. Let's go have a look. The barriers are down by Aviktas, so now we can finally get super close to it. And the pathway is open down by River Caves, so later on we'll go have a look down there and see if there's any progress on the reimagining. There isn't anything at the front talking about the fact that River Caves is closed, because of course it's been down now for probably the best part of 2 years. Wow, look at the size of that. I've been seeing the testing videos, super impressive. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get some rides on that. With that lap bar, I imagine that you're going to get a lot of really good airtime. So that could be the UK's best flat ride. I know a lot of people say that gyro swings are the best flat ride, so we'll see if that's true when it opens after it's got all of its testing hours. I think a lot of people are predicting the end of spring, maybe May time, and that will be very exciting if it's open for the summer holidays. Here's Icon. We'll go check out what the queue is looking like when everyone's pre-queuing for it. Looks like it's just doing its final tests. Wow! Yeah, let's get in that pre-queue. That's probably, given that they're not in the station, about half an hour give or take, especially if they're running it on 2 trains. Let me check what time it is, because there's already people loaded up on Icon. It's 10 to 11, so 10 minutes before the operating day, and we've already seen one full cycle of the big one go, and now we've got Icon ready to start operating. Wow, kudos to Pleasure Beach for getting their operations bang on time, even early. That's really good. That's something that we don't normally see, with the Pleasure Beach being quite big fans of staggered opening times. Wow. Well, let's get a ride on this. I don't think it's going to set off for a minute, so I'll wait to get some footage afterwards. I was almost bang on with the wait time there, 25 minutes for a back row ride on Icon. Not bad at all, you can't complain. I think I can hear it coming somewhere. Oh, there! Fabulous. Yeah, really good ride, nice and smooth. Honestly, if you're going on Icon, try your best to get back row. The airtime on there is insane. That top hat still gets me every time. So this is a Mack ride double launch coaster, opened in 2018 I believe, and it still rides incredibly. They are also running Enso today, so I'm probably going to get a ride on that, because I will always say the best ride experience on Icon is Enso. Those are the two spinning seats at the back. They're great. They're absolutely incredible. It is a bit of a shame that it is an upcharge of £15, unless it's gone up. Who can tell? But it would be nice if there was an option to queue for it, but I reckon it'd just be too long. It really would be. So I can see why it's an upcharge. The app is saying that the big one is on a 50-minute wait, which is quite long. It doesn't look like that long of a queue, but it might be a one-train service today. I know that Icon is running on at least 2. Here it comes again. On that awesome top hat. It's nice to see the park busy. Let's have a look at steeplechase. That doesn't look too bad. And this is a very low throughput ride. Each set of horses can hold a maximum of 6 people. But if there's one person on each horse, that's 3 people a go. But yeah, the queues don't look too bad. It's only up there, so let's give this a go. I'm not sure if you can see that over there, but there are just like one section of track for each colour that are really vibrantly painted, and it would be weird if they'd only repainted that section. I wonder if they've retracked that or something. Just interesting, because the colours on just that one piece of track for each colour looks really vibrant and really nice. I would like to see them maybe give this a new lick of paint, because it is looking a bit faded. Those colours look great, but I wonder if those are new parts. A look at the big one going up the lift hill there. Nice ride on steeplechase. Unfortunately, I didn't win. I'd seen everyone else on grey winning, and I got on grey and I came second. So it turns out it's not always rigged. Yeah, good ride. And it turns out that they have actually repainted quite a decent amount of it. If I show you around here, just by Revolution, they've actually repainted that whole first bit, that first corner and hung. So yeah, that's looking really good. It's a really nice paint job. They picked some really vibrant colours. Really impressed with that. The queue for Revolution is definitely picked up. I'll have to look on the app to see how long that is. But I do want to get a ride in on Infusions. Not Infusion, Revolution. Definitely the wrong choice of words there. It says the wait time is 10 minutes from here. Nice views over the Chinese puzzle maze and also steeplechase. But yeah, it seems like it's a decently busy day. A lot of wait times are like 20-30 minutes, which I would say for Pleasure Beach is pretty good, because there's so many rides here that honestly, even the low throughput attractions tend to chomp a decent queue. The operations here have been really good today. Staff nice and friendly and helpful. Yeah, wow. It looks like they're actually changing up the speeds on the lift hill actually today, because when I got up on the lift hill when I was on the grey one, I shot straight to the top. So it actually looks like they're not fully rigging it today. So who knows who will win. Just had a ride on Revolution there. Wow. It does actually have a very good throughput. The trains are fairly long, but the operations were a teensy bit slow on there, so it was a bit more than a 10-minute wait, but I really don't mind. Honestly, going backwards through a loop, it just feels so wrong for some reason. But yeah, that's a brilliant ride. It still runs really well. So that's an aerodynamics shuttle coaster there. The way that it works is it launches you using this thing called a catch car, which basically just pushes the train out of the station. Very forceful and just a lot of fun. Classic coaster. I don't even know how old Revolution is now, but it's probably getting on. It is a classic. Big one still with a big wait time, definitely. The new slogan, the big one, the hyper coaster with altitude. No longer does it say Pepsi Max on the side. It hasn't been the Pepsi Max big one since about 2012, I believe. But they were allowed to keep the decal on the, well, what used to be the can. And so I guess the name kind of stuck. I still hear people call it the Pepsi Max. We'll go have a look down the rest of the park in a minute. It's just gone 12:10 and we've done quite a few rides. It's not been too bad. We've got on 3 roller coasters so far. But yeah, after I've gone and got my lunch at Burger King, classic, I'm going to go head down to the other section of the park and hopefully get a ride on Ghost Train, Alice in Wonderland, and then we'll head back up and see if we can get a ride on Enso, my absolute favourite. The Red Arrow Skyforce is sat parked up here with all of the gondolas on. Wow. I do think that they'll probably end up selling it because it's a perfectly good and fine ride. I quite enjoyed it, but once again it just wasn't that popular, and obviously with you having to scan your e-ticket at the start of every ride, the Pleasure Beach has a really good gauge on actually how many people ride each ride every day, and so if they need to make cuts they can quite easily pick out which is the least popular. Icons queue out of the station, not the station, the queue line. Big One also very busy. Both of them are saying that they're on 60 minutes. And 60 minutes for that length of a queue is ambitious for their operations, but you know what, I think they can do it. I think that's kind of a fair estimation. Because for the Big One and Icon, they are really good at getting trains through. Had a lovely lunch, and now I'm going to head out to the dark rides and see if I can get a go on the Ghost Train and Alice in Wonderland. I'll take a walk past Avalanche and see what that's looking like. Apparently that's on a 30-minute wait, which for Avalanche is not bad at all. The most it can run is 2 trains, and I believe it seats probably, I want to say it can sit 8 people if only one person is in a car, but obviously you can double it up and 2 people can sit in one car, but I can't remember. Little tribute there to the gold mine ride, which is now of course Wallace and Gromit's Thrill-O-Matic. I don't need to go into Nickelodeon Land today. Wow, this music's really loud from the empty and abandoned Dodgems. But I won't really need to go into Nickelodeon Land today because of course I went to the February half-term event, which was really good. But also you can now get a Nickelodeon Land only e-ticket, which is £25. So if you have younger kids who don't hit the height restrictions for the rest of the rides, that's a perfect option to maybe save a bit of money. E-tickets on the website are typically around £32 to £34. So you're saving about a tenner, which isn't too bad. But yeah, let's go have a walk up and I'll update you when I get to the Ghost Train. Over here, Ghost Train is queuing right out of the queue line. So I think I'm going to go over to Alice in Wonderland because that's got quite a significantly shorter queue. They're running 10 trains on the Ghost Train today. I went down at the start and had a look at it. But yeah, this is a classic ride, and as everyone who's been to the Pleasure Beach knows, Alice in Wonderland smells amazing. So let's go on and have a ride. I unfortunately won't be able to bring a POV to you guys because they don't allow on-ride filming, but hopefully at some point I'll be able to apply and hopefully get you some POVs at some point. The sun's come back out now, it's quite nice. I've just had a look on the app to see what's going on with Enso, and there isn't the option to book it, so I'm not sure if maybe it's sold out, because of course when you book Enso you get a virtual queue, which is the equivalent to the queue line at that current moment. And with the queue being 60 minutes long, I imagine that Enso might have sold out. Because if you factor in the fact that they're having to juggle the standard queue, the Speedy Pass queue, and then the Enso queue, which only runs every other train, unless there's 3 on, and then it's, you might have to wait 2 trains before the next cycle of Enso. So I don't know if it's sold out. I'll have to go have a look because sometimes they have a QR code outside for you to book. So I'll have to see, but I might not be able to get a ride on Enso today. Oh, well, isn't it just a classic? Opened in 1962. But you won't believe it, it's so well maintained. Of course, they keep up to it with such brilliant licks of paint, and just a few years ago they removed all the ivy off the front of the building, and it looks really good. And it also smells really good in there as well. That's one of the highlights of the ride. But yeah, that 15-minute advertised wait turned into a headache-inducing 40 minutes. Like, I'm pretty sure every single Speedy Pass holder in the park descended on the ride at once. But we're gonna go have a walk around now and see what everything else is looking like. Ghost Train is still looking fairly long, so I might circle back around here later. But I'm gonna go have a look up towards River Caves now. Circle back round for Derby Racer in a moment, because I did say I was gonna get an update on the merchandise, because the Kiss Me Quick shop normally has a lot of the new arrivals to the like merchandise selection. My train of thought just completely slipped then. We have the dancing fountains down here. They play a show, I believe, every 30 minutes. Grand National is undergoing its winter maintenance still. They've got a couple of wooden boards of the station area where they're seeming to be like maintenance in the trains, getting them all back on. But here we have Aviktas. It is huge. Wow. It looks amazing. I love the emblem at the top. It really adds to it. At the minute, the area around Aviktas is pretty much just flat land. There's nothing there. So I'm assuming that they're going to build up a fairly big queue line. And there may be a bit of like station work. But wow, it's looking incredible. River Cave's still sat here pretty much untouched in the station. I hope that when it does eventually reopen after the reimagining, they keep it relatively the same. Hey! At the minute they've still got it all boarded up and it's completely drained. Wow, the drop is looking a little bit worse for wear, so hopefully we see it start to get refreshed and it starts to look a bit better, because I just want it to come back now. I'm pretty sure it was the end of, goodness, was it the start of the 2024 season? It operated for one day and then it closed and it hasn't reopened since. So it's honestly, it's an awful shame, but I'm pretty sure it needed the work done. Clearly something went wrong with it somewhere and they've decided, why not give it the full refresh now, because the ride is over 100 years old. It's insane. It's got such a legacy and I can't wait to see it back. But now we're up here towards Big Dipper. You know what, while we're at it, let's go see if we can get on Enso. Let's see if it's fully booked or what's going on with that. I'm almost certain that the lovely Enso has sold out for today, which is a surprise. But you know what? Good for the Pleasure Beach if it has, because £15 a pop, that's a lot of extra revenue. The Speedy Pass is also still unavailable for Icon and it is still on that 60-minute wait. The Speedy Pass for the big one has come back live, so I imagine that they've managed to quell that Fast Pass queue fairly quickly. So maybe the Fast Pass and Enso tickets for Icon will go live again later on. So I'm just going to keep checking on the app randomly, and I might speak to a few staff members just to gauge whether or not it's stopped for the rest of the day or whether or not I might be able to sneak in a ride on it later on. But I do think it's going to be worthwhile queuing up for the Ghost Train, seeing how long that queue is, and then going over to Derby Racer and the Kiss Me Quick shop. Avalanche is probably on a 40-minute wait. I'm sure they'll estimate that for about 20 minutes, but it's definitely way more than that. Trust me, those stairs, they feel like they take forever. But so far I'm having a very good day here. I've only so far got on 4 rides and it's about 1/2. But I'd say that's not too bad. It's quite a busy opening day. When it goes to the full week openings, I'll be able to come here during the week when it's a bit quieter and load up on more rides. But yeah, I just wanted to come here and capture the atmosphere of opening day and get on some of my favourites. I've been missing them, especially Icon. The new park area down here is quite nice. I can't remember if I filmed here last year when it opened. Yeah, it looks really nice. I wonder if... yeah, I'm gonna walk down here. But it's nice that they've kind of regenerated this area in the meantime while they think of what they're going to do with it. Of course, this was formerly the Grand Prix ride. This is where the huge helix section was. You can see that they've sealed off the station there and removed all the back cladding. So it looks like that station will be getting pulled down fairly soon. It's quite exciting. I don't think they'll be able to fit a full roller coaster in here. The clearance under that bridge just isn't enough unless they forfeit the bridge. But I'll have to see what they do with that. It's quite interesting. It's a decent plot of land because the Grand Prix used to snake all the way back towards Icon over there. And then you have the Alpine Rally and the Eddie Stobart cars, which are also now closed. So you have quite a decent plot of land, but it's fairly narrow. So they're going to have to get crafty with what they do with this plot of land. Big turnout for Big Dipper. Oof! That's got to be more than an hour. Big Dipper now can only run on one train because of course it still uses manual-ish braking. I say that because some of it is slightly automated, but yeah, it is very reliant on that manual braking system. It doesn't use like block brakes like modern roller coasters do, such as Icon and the big one. Just another look here. Wow. I can understand why they haven't switched it on today. Not only would they have had to pay for the operator to come into the park, but also this pathway would not be as quiet as it is right now if that thing was swinging. Wow. Huge A-frame there. The test footage looks really good at the minute. Doesn't look like it spins too much, which was my main concern because I can get dizzy very quick. But whew, does it look like it's got some good air time. It's like a play park swing on steroids. It's huge. I'll be interested to see what they do with the blank space around it. That's where the hub normally is. They still haven't done anything with the space where the hub is, which was formerly where Wild Mouse is. And also this area, this AstroTurf section, which used to be Trauma Towers. Nothing has happened with that since both of those attractions closed probably more than a decade ago now. It would be nice to see them consider a project there, but once again, the park's operation costs are so tight at the moment. It's so difficult. I spoke to a staff member outside of Icon. They say that they have a cap limit for the amount of Enso tickets they can sell, but then of course they release them as more tickets are scanned in, so hopefully it will be back live at some point soon. So we might as well just get in the queue for the ghost train. I don't see why not. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to estimate about 35 minutes, but I might be stuck here for the next hour. Embarrassing performance from me on that ride. I jumped. It's always interesting whenever you go on it for the first time in a season what they've changed. I was so focused on the fact that when there's a mine shaft collapse scene, there's normally a pillar of rocks that kind of falls towards you, and I was so focused on the fact that it wasn't there, that this new sound effect, I jumped out of my skin. The scene where there's the bride and then there's the postman like hanging out of the door, those effects weren't working, but they've also changed the mirror effect, which, you know, like would normally shake, and I think it had like some kind of ghostly bride on it. I can't exactly remember, but that's changed and that was all working. That looks great, but those other two effects weren't working, so I felt really tense. I was thinking, when is the effect gonna play? But yeah, the monastery scene is getting a lot better now. They've kind of updated it in line with the changes that I wanted to see for it. So the monks now, they're lit up with this purple lighting and they're like skeletons covered by these ghostly cloaks. They're pretty scary. I quite like them. Yeah, some really good changes this year for the ghost train. I think we're going to hop on Derby Racer now, see if we can get on this cycle. Let's be cheeky and see if there's a spot for me. But yeah, really good ride on the ghost train, and the 20-minute wait was spot on. definitely a good estimation from the app. There was good timing there for the Derby Racer. Oh, it's such a good carousel, it picks up some speed. And it has the classic carousel organ there which plays live music as you go around. I think we got 1.5 songs there, that wasn't half bad, that was a really long cycle. Really enjoyed that. Now I think we're going to have a look down in the Kiss Me Quick shop. This is where you can find all of your ride parts. It's a pretty good shop, this. Flying machines above me. Of course made by Sahir and Maxim for the World's Fair in the early 1900s. He's also the inventor of the machine gun. Interesting. Alright, let's have a look in here and see if there's anything new that I can spot. The classic Pleasure Beach onesies, they're actually very good. I love my one. Oh, it seems like there's not many ride parts out here. In fact, the area which is normally filled with ride parts here is now filled with notebooks. This is what we have available. Still a lot of stuff from the Wild Mouse. That's an anti-rollback dog. For those of you who don't know what that is, the clicking that you can hear on a lift hill, it's quite loud on the big one. That's actually the anti-rollback dog linking into the chain, so that if the ride stops it doesn't slide straight back down the lift hill. Some interesting pieces here, stuff from the Skyforce as well, wow. Can't believe that they're selling pieces off from that. Some wood from Nick Street down there, you can tell by the blue. But yeah, there's really not that many ride parts out today, which is different from usual. Just more pick and mix down there. Here's the inside of Sahir and Maxim's flying machine. Wow. I love how you get to see into the inner workings there. It's really good. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much new in here. Just have a good little check around on the pin badges. See if I can spot anything around there. Yeah, I can't seem to spot much new at the minute. I do quite like all the Ghost Train stuff. I have quite a few of those, they're really nice. The Tom Purvis collection, they're really nice. I have a couple of coasters from that set. I think that might be new, that's nice. The new Icon keyring, I do like that. It's like embossed, yeah, that's nice. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much new merch at the moment. But like I say, we're still in the early season, so it's only open on weekends. You know, actually, I'm going to head up towards Thrill-O-Matic. Launchpad on a 30-minute wait, not too bad. But I'll see what Wallace and Gromit's queue is looking like. Because with the dark rides here, their throughput is fairly small apart from Thrill-O-Matic. But the Ghost Train, they were getting people through. Each train holds just 2 people, and yet it was still like just under a 20-minute wait if we're excluding the amount of time I spent on the ride. I don't think we're going to get a dispatch while I'm stood here. I'll hopefully come back round and get some more off-ride footage. So the way that they're doing the Fast Pass, which I actually quite respect, is that they're releasing the Speedy Pass in batches. So you have to get there fairly quick. You do need to refresh the app quite a lot, which I know quite a few people won't like because they do get snapped up quickly. But it means that they're only taking in as many Fast Pass guests as they can handle. So I'm keeping on checking with Icon to see if we can get on Enso, but it is looking unlikely. Let's have another look. Yeah, as you can see, Big One and Icon, they're not showing anything at all for the Speedy Pass. Still respectively on their 60-minute wait time. I didn't actually look what Big One said. But let's head up here and see what other rides we can get on. No Wallace and Gromit for me. It looks like it's had a bit of a breakdown. That's all good. I got on it plenty of times when I came for the Nickelodeon Land February half-term event. Hopefully they get it back up and running by the end of today. Gromit out doing photo opportunities. It's got a bit cloudier now. A bit chillier, but it's all good. Also on the app, which I think is nice, is in Nickelodeon Land, if you look at what's on, it tells you which characters are going to be out in the area at what time. It's mainly Paw Patrol characters because, you know, they're the most popular. But that's really good. So if you have kids who want to meet a specific character and you don't want to run the risk of missing out, check on the app, it's all there. But I'm going to have another walk around and I'll turn the camera back on when I've decided what ride I'm going to go on. Might get some off-ride footage while I'm walking about. Woof! That is your Enso Speedy Pass queue. I can understand why they're not selling it off anymore. Oh, yikes. Queuing out of the door for both of them. Enso has got to be at least 30-40 minutes with that many people stood out there. Wow. I wouldn't want to be waiting in that right now. Yeah, that is not worth you £20. But yeah, we're just walking around down here, seeing what's going on in Nickelodeon Land and Avalanche. So I'll see you in a second. Nickelodeon Land's still looking fairly populated. Let me check what time it is so you can see about the levels of crowds at this time. It's just 2:30, so there's about 2.5 hours left of park day. Yeah, it's maintained a lot of queues today. Really strong opening day for the park. We've not had too many rides closed all day, of course. Valhalla, I imagine, will be opening more towards springtime because a water ride of its magnitude might not be very popular in this weather. It is still a little bit chilly. The train just set off there. Don't know if you could see that. I did go down and see if I could get on the train, but it was packed. So I might come back to get on that later because there wasn't even a seat for me. But no, it's good to see the park so busy and people coming out. Also with the ride closures, of course, Dora's World Voyage, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. When I came for the February half-term event and I was on Nickelodeon Streak, it didn't particularly look like they were giving it a repaint, so I'm not sure what's going on with that one. They have actually been really good with maintenance in this off-season. The Icon Station has been spruced up again. It really did need some work. Some of the cladding on the front of the station was like peeling off, so that's all been fixed now. Of course, Avalanche looks very busy still. I'm just kind of wandering around aimlessly until I can find a queue that doesn't look like it's gonna take up my entire day. But no, it's good for them that it is busy though. I'm really pleased for the park because we've seen some really quiet days in periods where it should be busy here. So it's good to see that they're drawing numbers in this year. That's probably the worst off-ride shot I've ever got. My camera didn't turn on in time. I do love the Thrill-O-Matic. Really great dark ride. And also a very classic franchise. I do love the Wallace and Gromit films. You know, from when I last visited for the February half-term event, the changes to the ride are still having to grow on me. But the teething problems with the were-rabbit looking too bright in that last scene, that seems to have been fixed because in that scene it was pitch black before the were-rabbit popped out. So I was really pleased to see that that had kind of been amended. I'm not sure if that was just an issue with a service light accidentally being on while I was at the event. I'm not too sure. I can hopefully see that if I can get a ride on the Pleasure Beach Express, see if they've done any maintenance to that, because I know that in previous vlogs I've said that it's needed it, and it has. So hopefully there's been a few changes around there, and obviously we can film on there, so I'll take you on for a ride. Let's see. Stops every 20 minutes. I'm alright waiting, because either way it'll be the shortest wait in the park. But yeah, Thrill-O-Matic, it's a great family attraction. I'd say at the minute it's pulling the longest weight for the dark rides at the park, but it is of the biggest scale in my opinion. It's just a good ride.
For your safety,
right.
Do not cross the track.
I will see you again when I'm back on the Pleasure Beach Express.
On platform 1, please refrain from feeding the driver. Thank you.
For your safety, do not cross the track. Please stand behind the yellow line as the train has stopped at the station. It's important. Please keep your arms and legs inside the carriage and remain fully seated at all times.
Today it's Carol Jean in service. Let's take a ride on the Pleasure Beach Express. A look there at Avatar Airbender, Samperla Disco Coaster. I haven't given that a go this time because it's been quite busy.
Hey!
Seems like the Revolution queue's picked up a little bit since I last went on it this morning when it was sunny. Now, to be fair, it's not too bad. I might actually give that a go before the end of the day. Big one's still very busy. 80-minute wait. Track, the Grand Prix, or was that Alpine Rally back there? I think that, no, that was definitely Grand Prix over there. I hope that was a lucky catch. Ooh, spooky! Oh, there she is. Nice surprise there. You can get some really nice off-ride shots from here. Shame Big Dipper isn't going around. Oh, speaking of, just gone onto the lifter, you can't really see very well. There we go. There's Icon. Can we get it? No, we can't. A look out to Infusion, which is popular today with this lovely green water. Yummy. Hopefully at some point we'll see it filled back up with the nice radiant blue water. Big Dipper. Anyway, the next section of the ride is where we want to see if they've done any maintenance. I wonder what will happen with the plans to transform the rest of the boulevard, which has been looking dishevelled for some time now, into new beachside rental holiday homes. That was the plan of Amanda Thompson, to introduce some dog-friendly accommodation along the seafront. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that get planning permission and go ahead, but I wonder when they'll actually end up doing that. This is a hotel stop. Big Blue Hotel here. I've had quite a few stays in this hotel. Hopefully, given that I'm now a season pass holder, I'll be able to, whoa, big one. I'll be able to book a stay there and get you a vlog reviewing probably one of the standard rooms. Let's see what this area is looking like. Oh, some new hippos. Oh, the skull is looking like it's seen better days out here. I'd like to see that refreshing. Well, we have got some repainted props around here. You know, they're making a start on it. Those zebras are looking fresh. It's just a shame that that waterfall section has been going in and out of being done up and then being back in disrepair for so many years. Like, I remember when it used to pour like red water out of his eyes. Seems like they keep up to the dinosaur section a bit more than the others, to be fair. Dinosaurs are always a big hit though, so I don't blame them. Going into the last section of the ride now, where we loop back through to the station, passing alongside the track we came on the way here, so you can see Nickelodeon Land again. Well, I'll see you when I get off the Pleasure Beach Express. Here at the Backyardigans ride in Nickelodeon Land. I just want to point out, while I'm in this area, that all the Nickelodeon Land attractions are closing an hour before park close. So it's just turning 4 o'clock, so they're all wrapping up their operations for the day. Revolution says it's on a half an hour wait, so I think I'm going to take the trek up those stairs and give that a shot, because it's currently the coaster with the lowest wait. I don't think I'm going to get on the big one today, that's fine. I'll hopefully, on my next visit, come at a time when there aren't huge queue times for the big one, because 18 minutes is just a bit too much for me, especially as a season pass holder now, where I don't need to experience a big one every single time, because it's not like I'm only visiting once or twice a year now. Might even have a little gander through the Chinese puzzle maze and get some off-ride shots. I am trying to get better at doing off-ride shots, but I am a bit inconsistent with it. because it's kind of hard sometimes, especially on a busier day like this where I want to get back on everything, to just stand still and get the off-ride shots. So hopefully I'll get better at that as I keep vlogging, because of course I'll be able to do that a lot more often this year. Oh, that looks a bit more than half an hour, but we'll stand in it nonetheless. Not too bad of a wait so far. I'm definitely on the team of the stairs are scarier than the rise. Oh, look at that. But there are some really beautiful views from here. Looks like the sun's starting to set a bit early. But it looks very nice on the horizon there. Beautiful 0G roll from Icon. Another great ride on Revolution. Hopefully it'll set off in due time, so we can get an off-road shot there of it. Oh, second from front row. Going backwards on that loop is fabulous. Such a thrilling experience, and you really do get some airtime going up into that second section there. The anticipation waiting for it to come back round. You get some nice views up there and you're sat wondering when it's going to launch again. Oh, it's taking its time. Here she comes. Fantastic. Wow, love it. Great two rides on there today. So when I came for the February half-term event, I wondered why this section here was quite empty. Well, we found out why, because they've introduced something new here. Sorry. They have a bracelet and charm selection here. £1.50 for the bracelet and £1 for the charm. The only one that I can really see that is branded to the Pleasure Beach is the Fun Shine Face. Also, I suppose that does say fun there as well. But that's not bad for a little pocket money idea. So that's not bad at all. There's only a few new bits in the shop here, mainly in the Aardman stuff. Here we've got a Feathers McGraw Warmie that you heat up in the microwave to use as basically a hot water bottle. I love that, that's really cute. Obviously season pass holders get 10% off. Oh wow, there's also a Grommet Warmie as well. I remember they did one a few years ago for Wicker Man and it got recalled really quickly. It's a shame that that never came back. But it's good to see that there's all these Aardman ones. Oh wait, they have them for all of them. They have them for Shaun the Sheep. I imagine that they have some around the back because that's just a normal grommet. So it's just grommet, Sean, and then feathers. They're really cute and they're all $24.95. That's not bad at all. But yeah, if you want a full like tour of this shop, everything has been about the same since I visited for the February half term. So go check out that video to have a look in this shop. Outside of the Pleasure Beach now. It's just past 5. The big one's still going round, chewing out the rest of that 80-minute queue. Someone walked past and said that it was actually more like 2 hours. Wow, that is a meaty queue for the big one. But it is a fairly long ride, so I guess if any ride should have an 80-minute queue, if not 120, then it should be the big one. But I have to say it's been a really good first day of the season here for the 130th year of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Genuinely, every operator has been so friendly, so kind, so helpful. I really have to shout out the staff members at the Pleasure Beach. They've done such a good job today. And the throughput has been surprisingly good as well. Even with the amount of people that have been here. Honestly, when I was at the security gates, it was hard to conceptualise just how many people were here, but it has been a busy day, and it's good to see people coming out and supporting their local parks. There's been people coming from all over. I've seen plenty of enthusiasts here. And I'm excited to see when Aviktas opens. I heard that Valhalla will be reopening around May 20th, which is a little bit late, in my opinion. I could have gotten it today, but it'll be exciting to see when that reopens and Grand National reopens. And I think if they carry it on like they have today, then this is going to be a really good season for them. People have been spending in all the gift shops. They've probably had a huge turnover today. But yeah, I'm super pleased with the day that I've had. I hope everyone else who was here and is here on opening weekend has had a great time. And yeah, I'm going to wrap up the vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to Coaster Buddy. Bye bye.